Hello.
How have you been doing?
Oh, better than yesterday. But that's not hard.
Ah, yeah.
You read about the Cringe Fest.
I heard about that. That doesn't. I don't envy you for having to do those.
I mean, it was just a cringe work event, but managers, you know.
Oh yeah. We had 4 managers in last night. It's awful.
I just found the stupid bonfire I couldn't find in the first DLC last time, and to be honest, I just looked it up on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm terrible at finding like any of these hidden bonfires that they put everywhere.
Let me just quickly rebalance the audio. I think the game's a bit loud compared to you. It might just be that it's recording you anyway, so just a warning, yeah?
Oh yeah, that's okay. I'll say I think I'll have to go for like a short while, sometime around 6:15.
Oh, that's...
6.
Well, don't feel forced to sit here and see this stuff. I'm just, like usual.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. I just have to go to dinner at that time roughly, so about like
Absolutely.
5 or so minutes, and then now I'm back.
Yeah, sure. However it suits you, you know? Maybe I'll still be fighting this guy by then.
Maybe. I mean, I was told that he is like very, very hard.
Well, the YouTube videos make it seem easy, but they always do. I am getting better at this first phase. I just haven't really managed to prepare myself for the second phase yet, and since I don't really have any good way to know when a good pause for drinking is, well, this was a bad pause, but you know what I mean. So I always just lose too quickly against the second phase to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt was saying that this boss doesn't really give you any chances for healing.
I see. Well, that might explain a bit. Well, the first phase I've got it figured out, but the second I don't know. Maybe I just have to get good.
Yeah, it's I don't think I ever fought this guy, so.
I mean, here's DLC. You said you played the original version when it was new, right?
Yeah, so this is the only one of the 3 that I've only played through once. So I never played the updated version of any of the DLCs.
See, some of these attacks aren't that difficult.
Yeah, the slow swing that he does is okay.
Well, some of them I keep misjudging them sometimes, but they should be somewhat easy.
Yeah, I guess it's when he uses the fire charm, and the range on his sword seems worse.
It took me a few minutes to relearn that timing because I kept rolling way too early for that. But I think I've got it at least somewhat figured out now.
Yeah, it's going well so far.
Whew. That was close. What's he doing? Oh, right. The weird bullet hell explosion. This thing got me while healing last time. And this weird flamethrower. It's just extra slow.
Yeah, that tank in particular, I don't like that one. That looks really bad.
And there, I wasn't sure if it's the flamethrower or this weird swing, and I hesitated a bit too long because, I mean, mentally I have a counter for the weird flamethrower thing, which would be to run behind him. But I just keep making the wrong decision on which attack it's gonna be, so I keep rolling into the flamethrower and trying to run from the swing.
Ah.
But at least I'm being much more consistent than I was last time. I was getting tired already. That much was kind of obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of them just like you just end up learning it in time.
Yeah. Whoop. There we go. That's. And there's a window. Sometimes he changes another one on top of these. Oh. Here I just have enough peace and quiet to just roll back, have a drink, and go back in.
Yeah, I guess he's a little less aggressive than first.
He kind of overcommits to his weird combos. If I can get him in his 4-hit combo and just retreat in the beginning, I can just keep drinking while he slashes at the air. At least sometimes. Oh, he doesn't want to change phases now.
He's holding back for some reason.
A little bit. This should... It still didn't. I kind of expected him to do it right now. Oh.
Yes, usually
No, he doesn't.
Deep set.
Okay. Okay. That was just, I just missed my little roll window. That was just too slow.
I was pretty close that time though.
Yeah, but yeah, he just let me hit him a lot more in his first phase. That was honestly, that was him being generous.
Yeah.
Still, if he just sleeps on his second phase, that's kind of his fault, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully he gives more of an opportunity next time.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for sometimes when you stop playing a game and then just pick it back up at a difficult spot, you have had this weird sleep training. Do you know about that stuff? Where just kind of you learn the rhythm while you're I was concentrating too much on
Oh, while sleeping.
Yeah, that is technically a weird effect that they've actually studied, where you can, if you have a really hard sequence, like for example weird speed running stuff or something, if you just can't get it done really correctly, and you go to sleep, sometimes you just are a lot better at it afterwards, because apparently the brain just keeps working on it in the background.
Ah, right. I hadn't heard of it quite like that. I think I had heard of something about, like, if you listen to certain things while sleeping.
Ah, that. I guess it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I guess in a way. I didn't realise that they found anything else out, but then I'm not very knowledgeable on this.
So the way I oops, I just circled around too much there. The way I understood it, it's something like that. If you have things in like motor memory, it sometimes gets reinforced while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
like playing songs on instruments and that sort of thing gets better after sleeping because it's just getting replayed in your head.
Yeah. Oh, do you play any instrument?
Does Winamp count? They made me play the recorder in grade school. Grade school? No, it is grade school, isn't it? The most basic one for kids.
I think so. They have weird names for it over here. I think reception is like the first kind of school you go to here. Then it's primary school.
Primary, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's they usually make people do recorder over here at that sort of time as well.
Yeah, I did that for a year just so I finished my obligation to try. My parents bought me one of these cheap electronic piano things when I was a little kid. I kinda get the whole pressing the right buttons thing, but I never really developed any good sense of rhythm.
Yeah. That, I always had a hard time with rhythm. I played the violin. And that was like the hardest part, was like keeping time with everyone else.
Yeah. That's I never really learned that.
Yeah, it was always my weakest part.
Yeah, I'm also terrible at rhythm games and that sort of thing. And at parrying. I think parrying is kind of similar.
Yeah, it's I almost view Dark Souls in a way similar to a rhythm game.
It's a little bit. I mean, the bosses at least.
Yeah, the fighting the bosses is almost like memorizing a song.
Yeah.
But with like visual cues instead of audio cues.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's the right sequence of rolls and attacks to be played on command when they do something.
Yeah, and I usually mess up.
Well, you see what I'm... Oh, dang it. Yeah, you see how I'm doing. That's why I like the huge bosses, like the dragons, much more than these guys. Because I feel the dragons are like slower and give you more opportunities to freestyle your counters.
Yeah. Yeah, I find sometimes that can be quite good, although the only problem I have with the big bosses is like you have to wrestle with the camera.
That's true.
That's always a pain. But yeah, dragons are quite fun to play.
Yeah. Even the poison dragon last time, he was kind of annoying in some ways, but I enjoyed fighting him quite a lot. It was fun, even if I got my ass beat.
Yeah. Yeah, and you did, like, you got him way quicker than Calamine, so you're definitely, like, getting better.
I think Calamite kind of prepared me for him. Who knows how bad it would have been if I hadn't played that first. And he was honestly easier.
Yeah, I think people do say Calamite is one of the hard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure myself, and there I missed hitting the run button. You see what I tried to do? Just circle strafe around it. I was not sure if he actually would do that or the other swing, so I tried to keep my options open, and I missed that.
It's very his attack pattern looks very similar for like both those different moves.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to tell.
Yeah, I mean there has to be some difference, but I haven't learned it yet. That would
Yeah.
probably help me a lot if I figure that one out. But all I can do is provoke this attack and keep watching, you know?
Yeah. It's very close each time. How did you find the first Elden Ring session?
I had a lot of fun actually. I thought it would be more like it's not like regular Elden Ring play. It's way more weird, almost like playing Diablo together. Just us dogpiling on the enemies and doing this chaos stuff. So it's very different, but I had fun.
Yeah, I've never done it with 4 people, only 2, so it was way different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, the coordination is a little bit of a thing, but I think we'll figure it out over time. Maybe we'll just have to. I'm not sure if there's a good word for it, but something like sense of play, you know, like learning what we each do and not having to organize so much consciously.
Yeah. I guess just being like in tune.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I just couldn't think of that right now. Oh, that hit.
I have to go for a sec.
Sure.
I won't be too long. I'll just I'll mute myself.
I'll see you in a few. Have a nice one.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
Bye. Ooh. I feel bad. Really? Do I feel bad? I never beat a second farm, shit. Oh. Oh well. that? Not sure. Oh, right, that was... Let's trade. There we go. Maybe not. I don't want a small sword. I want a big one. Yes. Oh, wow.
Hello.
Hello!
How did you beat him?
I lucked out. He refused to switch to his second form until he had about 10 HP left. So I just bum rushed him.
Ah, nice.
So technically I didn't beat him. At least not his second phase.
I mean,
It's kinda his...
very well to just like rush him past the phase.
It's kinda his fault, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, that's... he really just needed 2 more hits and then he started doing his transformation thing. So I just ran in and slapped my entire load of stamina on him.
Nice one. If it works, it works.
It did work. He did. He did. And now I've got this big ass stick. Although I don't have enough.
Does it weigh as much as is it like 50?
It's 10 more. It's 28. I can just barely use it and it's Zweihänder for power stancing without going into fat rolling. Just barely.
Yeah. I heard they put it into Dark Souls 3 as well, so you can get that great sword there as well.
I'm not sure how much use I'll get out of it now because well, I don't have enough Dragon Bones to upgrade it at more than... I just got it to 3 Yeah, through 3, and it's technically slightly weaker than the Pursuer's Sword, so I don't know.
Yes, one of those
Oh, look!
weapons.
Look at that! I can't even power stance it.
Oh, is it
It doesn't match my other one.
Oh, maybe it is there like a higher tier of. I know there's Ultra Great Sword and Great Sword. I'm not sure
Yeah, but
whether.
they should all be ultras. See that? This one's also an
yeah.
ultra, but it has a bit more of a thrust style. So the two-handed heavy is this weird stabby thing.
Perhaps it needs to. They need to have a closer moveset.
I guess, maybe. Unsure, but somehow they don't really match. Oh, I've already got the crown. I've already got the crown.
Nice. I don't know what that one does.
I think it's also something about status. Let me look it up. I just quickly answered on the thread.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's see. Crown of the Old Iron King. Yes. Crown of the Old King item. Yes. It does regenerate spell casting users. It's a magic crown. Not my thing. So
it's very good if you do magic.
I mean, regenerating spells in this kind of game, absolutely great.
Crazy.
That's absolutely great. Yeah, it's. I'm a little bit surprised now that I've already got the crown, but I mean, there's I think there's 2 more bosses to find and 2 more areas to find, so.
And then there's the gang squad.
I do want to go back to the gang squads when I have all 3 crowns and have the permanent humanity thing from the king.
Yeah.
Because I feel that I need the NPCs. I'm too bad without them.
I think it's the Havel in that fight.
Probably. Another thing I might want to try once I've got that. I will have no more use for the actual for these ones. So I might try the Covenant thing again.
Yeah.
I think I do want to keep the pants for the yeah, reduces falling damage. I do want to keep the pants for the jumping puzzles. It looks a bit silly, but I suppose the cape will cover it up.
Sometimes you have to just be a part dress.
Anyway, this is the only DLC that doesn't have maps on the wiki, but it has text description of how to get everywhere. So it says, take the elevator that goes down, then use the tower key on a small metal door, which will presumably be this one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Seems like it. Head down the 2 staircases.
Right.
1, 2, I assume. Pick up herbs on the right. I see a stoner wrote this. Okay, and this elevator should take me to what they call the Iron Passage. And that takes me to the blue smelter demon.
Ah, yeah, I remember this boss. From I watched someone fight it at one point.
I just remember the red smelter demon, which also was a fun fight.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's one of the more kind of straightforward fights.
I think the only weird
annoying
thing,
gimmick.
yeah, the only weird thing was that he had this damage aura buff.
Ah, yeah, the when he impales himself with the sword.
Exactly, he starts buffing himself up occasionally, and one of them is this damage aura thing. I'm still amazed at this power stancing greatsword sort of thing. I'm just cleaving through everything.
Yeah. It's so powerful.
Oh yeah, while we're at that, I was kind of thinking about what I should actually do in Elden Ring. I guess I should focus more on the casting.
It's kind of up to you. I know there are weapons that are like pure int scaling. So if you like, you can go. I mean, I did my first run. I was an int build, but I didn't use a staff or anything like that. I just used these curved swords that are just like only scaling off of int.
I probably should at least get me one of these as a backup for when I ran out of mana, because well, I don't want to just be dead weight in that case.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to get some really good spells later on that will make you feel a lot more powerful than just like pew-pewing.
I mean, at the moment I am just pew-pewing, but it is rather effective.
Yeah, they're not bad. There are certain enemies that are very resistant to magic damage,
Obvious.
so they might suffer a bit then.
Yeah, I probably should work on getting like a handful of different spells just so I can occasionally circumvent resistance. Well, I kind of looked on the wiki just to not to spoil myself, but to at least get an idea if what's available and if multi-classing for both that was shit, for both kinds of magic, so for int magic and for faith magic, but I don't think that's too viable. I would have to max out 2 full stats and have to juggle the magic staves and these little bell thingies.
Yeah. There are dual casting ones. I can't remember whether it's a scepter or like a they call them like, do they call them fetishes in this?
I don't know. I don't remember. But
yeah,
I know what you mean. I had the impression that it's not that it's impossible, but it's certainly not as effective as specializing.
Yeah, you really have to be like kind of end game levels to get full use out of like dual casting.
Yeah, I am the kind of guy who doesn't multi-class in role-playing games and that sort of thing, so just picking up a decent sword as a backup will be fine. I can just occasionally look at that. I found my astrologer's cape. This one's fancy though.
Yeah, that was really, really brightly colored, that one.
That's rivaling the Jester one.
That's almost like Warhammer Orc kind of color scheme. With
a little bit.
Moon face.
I guess, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the way to play that wouldn't do too much. You know, the least disruptive way basically would be to just go in and play a sorcerer. I mean, technically, I do get my wish that way. I do like to play wizards. That's like my main class, just not in Dark Souls. And now yeah.
It's good that Elden Ring lets you do more of like an actual viable wizard build.
Exactly. So yeah, technically I just got my wish, so I guess I should just take it and be happy.
Yes, it's not bad. My first run was entirely like Invis based, and it was actually quite fun.
Weakness attacking. Really?
I never would have guessed.
I was gonna let him live. Oh.
You'd have to talk him now. Unless he doesn't have ears.
I guess not. Although I kind of feel I had a slightly bad pathing. I was kind of going on the lower path and kept getting shot from above. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah, this bit seems to open up a bit. So there's they put annoying kind of sniping enemies.
Yeah, that almost makes me want to switch back to a shield.
Yeah, might help with that.
I might actually... Yeah, I guess I'll actually do it. I mean... I do enough damage. That's not the problem. It's of course the whole kill swing thing is super enjoyable, but this is fine too. It's not like I'm starved for damage.
And you two-shot like most of these guys.
Exactly. And then we go like this, and that's absolutely no... Ow! Oh! Need to get out of that AoE thing.
Oh, the strange astrologer guy just comes back.
Oh! Yeah, that was a bit greedy of me, again. Although with two swords I would have gotten him.
Yeah, he just... somehow he has enough health to tank that, even though he's wearing, like, robes.
Exactly. For some reason the squishy wizard just took all that abuse and lived. Maybe I should go in with two swords. Minimize the time I'm getting shot at.
Yeah.
Both approaches sound kind of sensible. He just did a fart, I guess.
I don't even know what that's supposed to be, that cloud.
Not sure. I couldn't tell what its effect was.
I don't pretend to know the ways of wizards.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, your brother might know, but
I don't know how he does it.
yeah.
But then
Oh,
he has like more than double playtime in these games that I do.
yeah. I mean, I probably should just play it for myself, you know.
Yeah, just do a training arc off stream and come back like you've just taken off the training weights.
Yeah, I'm not left-handed. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was... I was hoping I'd cleave to both of them in time. Nope, just get shot. But yeah, that's I do want to keep playing it on stream just because I kind of started. I'm not really sure how that. I I mean, I kind of said, might as well record myself doing it, and then I kind of stuck to it. But I mean, I'm kind of glad that I. Oh, I'm dead again. I'm glad that I did, else we wouldn't have gotten to play co-op.
Yes, it was a good idea, I think.
Yeah, that's probably the best possible outcome out of that.
Yeah, it's really nice to be like playing with new people
Mm.
and whatnot. I've
Yeah,
for
it's hard
many
enough.
years just been like kind of hermit mode.
Yeah, it's hard enough to find. Oh, come on! I just did it the first time. How can I be so bad suddenly? I was still high off my victory, I guess. Yeah, it's hard enough to find decent people to spend your time with. So
Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
in person, it can be a nightmare.
Oh,
Think-
yeah.
Like it's like you think you found people who you might have something like in common with, or like that you might be able to trust. And I don't know about you, but I come across people who I think are okay, and then you hear them say something, or like
Mm.
they do something, and you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, let's drop this. These people aren't what I thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone on the Doki thread seems
I mean, I guess being on an anonymous thing is no one's really hiding themselves. You just see the worst part immediately, and if you're still sticking together, then it can't be that bad. Why am I so slow? Oh, did the fart kind of debuff my?
Oh, it might be some kind of
Yeah, some kind of weight spell or something, like weighing me
that'd be
down.
interesting.
Yeah. Are you going to come down
anyone
here?
who's stuck around with Doki Doki for like several years or so can't be that bad.
I mean, apparently we're all the same kind, at least the same brand of weirdos, yeah?
Yeah, it must be.
At least
But,
to some extent.
At least we have something. I've met some people, and it's almost like there's nothing there.
Yeah, the other thing where I was always looking for other people to play with are the RPG. Holy balls. Dude, just one-shot me. The RPG side of things, and there again, it's pretty hard to find a decent group.
Yeah, I was talking with someone I met at work, because he DM,
Mm-hmm.
but he just hasn't been at work, so I don't know what's happening. I won't say specifics, but he's
course.
got things very rough.
Yeah, I mean, the whole DMing thing, it can feel like an extra job. That's I should probably keep my streaming software on, just in case someone's writing on there. Would be a shame to miss that. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I mean,
But yeah, DMing can really be a whole job, and some people do it as a job. And that's kind of why I just stuck to customizing pre-built adventures, and I kind of had to limit how much work I do for it.
yeah, I imagine it can just kind of eat up all of your free time.
Yeah, especially since I'm admittedly not insanely creative type. I have a few small cute ideas to sprinkle in occasionally, but I would be very hard pressed to make up this whole thing from nothing. But even just the small preparation, if you do it too finely graded, it can still eat up tons of time.
Yeah, I imagine. Which part which part of it do you like the most? I imagine there's the world building side of things, and there's I imagine you have to write a bunch of scenario pieces and character dialogue. Is it? Do you do that?
I
kind of go with the flow as it happens.
Yeah, I quickly learned that my guys are way too off ball for preparing too much. Usually even the pre-written dialogue options don't really cover what they want to say to these guys. So I just try to understand the bad kinds of prepared adventures have a few sentences for you to read out loud in response to certain prompts, like an old video game, and the good ones explain to you what this or that character knows and what his motivation is, so you can kind of improvise a lot better. But personally, I enjoyed doing the dungeons myself. Two things: the dungeons, and I like preparing rewards for these guys. Like picking out cool things. For example, there was this. I had added occasion. So there were, for example, in that Pathfinder adventure, we did milestones instead of counting XP, just because it was boring and very tedious to just add all of that up, and it kind of encouraged trying to hunt down every monster and solving puzzles even though you had no obstacle anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, but in that it said something like, here's a list of how much XP every monster's worth, and there are things like for example, there's a haunted house, and you can do this or that to banish the haunting for a generation, or you can exorcise the demon, or you can burn the house down, and all of these give various kinds of XP. But if you knew what the best solution was, just XP wise, that's kind of too gamey.
Yeah, I suppose at that point, you're gonna get like kind of I guess like the kind of number crunching sort of. It takes away from a bit of the kind of immersion.
Yeah. So they were always just trying to find out if something is an obstacle that can be defeated or avoided. So they go in the obviously trapped room just so they survive the trap and it gives them XP.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, sorry.
And that's kind of not how we wanted to play. But so I basically said no, we're doing milestones again instead. But then why would you go on side quests?
That's true. I guess trying to work in a proper incentive without spoiling too much, that'd be a bit of a challenge.
And luckily, these guys were very good at role-playing with the kind of rewards I gave them. They really liked having toys. And I just scrounged huge lists of these minor magic items. So, for example, I just gave the knight of the group who did like to do this heroic posing and everything. I just gave him a cape that always billows in the wind, even if you have absolutely no breeze, just so you can always look good. And it's such. Oops. It's not like I gave them any kind of real power, but it was just this enjoyable little toy. And then the guy kept working this into actual roleplay. So I'm saying, oh, he's really trying to do hero impressions on the cowering villagers.
Yeah, like a charisma kind of.
Yeah, so he kind of found a use for the useless trinket. Well, I do have to reward that, don't I? And it just played like that naturally. That was very fun.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just finding personalized little gifts and seeing what they make of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing sounds like a good time.
Yeah, and I did enjoy playing around with the dungeons. If they were too straightforward, I just tried to add a few puzzles or traps or something like that. Just so it has some kind of, like, almost Zelda-ish direction.
Yeah, I guess in a sense it would be like the dungeons themselves are just like characters.
I suppose that's.
Give them personality.
I guess that's a way to put it. Yeah, it's kind of nice to put in like themed puzzles.
Yeah. Sorry if my voice is a little bit funny today.
Oh, don't worry about it. I might be a little scratchy myself. I'm kind of wondering if I might have picked up a little cold at that weird work thingy.
The conference, like meeting type.
Yeah, I bet we all swapped all kinds of snot there.
Probably. I'm lucky because I just get to be antisocial and just barely see anyone.
Yeah, I'm kind of selective about that. Like I have my guys, and that's all I need. I don't really need this whole kind of forced socializing with coworkers and stuff. Like they're nice enough people, but it just doesn't do anything for me, and I don't care.
Yeah, there's maybe like a handful or so at my place that I get along with, and then there's like we call them like the Furies or like Harpies.
Oh, that sounds like trouble.
It's it feels dangerous being in their presence too long.
oh my!
I've gotten dragged into the office because one of them decided that I apparently looked scary and was intimidating them. And
really?
I wasn't even like I was like just standing on the same aisle. And they ended up getting into trouble for doing that, but it took months of like, disciplinary meetings.
Wow.
It's a pain.
In that case, I probably wouldn't really want to associate with these people either.
No, but I suppose that's what I get for being like night shift people. I guess probably gonna be not all there. In my case, that's definitely true.
I mean, I guess, but still, it's. I do get along with most of my coworkers. Like, for some reason, I usually manage to pick up a reputation for being the diplomatic guy. Which is funny because the whole diplomacy thing basically results from me not caring that much.
I think, in a sense, that's quite a good attitude to have, because it's hard to it would be hard to drag you to drama
Yeah,
if you can detach yourself from it.
exactly. That's pretty much my tactic. I try to be the slightly distant, polite guy who just keeps out of the weird drama crap.
Yeah, I'm known for just putting on headphones and then I can't hear anyone.
Yeah, I listen too much. As in, the people when I was still at university, I basically had my own little tea kitchen, which, in hindsight, how appropriate. And people just kept dropping in and basically venting about everything, and I basically let everyone do that and just didn't say anything, and they thought I was like trying to be a very wise and deep listener, and I just kind of well, I'll just let you talk. Then I don't have to.
Gathering all of the future Black Metal material that you could ever need.
I did have a little bit of material that well, it's not like I needed to use it to finish my studies, but I did have to slightly get my professor into a little bit of a politically unpleasant situation. Basically, he would look bad in front of his boss if he didn't let me finish, and I kind of pushed that.
Ah, yeah.
He,
yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I suppose, I mean, you've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah, the guy basically tried to kind of get me to quit out of hopelessness. I was just too stubborn, and in the end, when he just tried to pile on the like my thesis is at least twice the length of everyone else's, and he still said it's not enough, and found like weird loopholes where he can demand more and more stuff. So somehow I managed to play nice with the who was that? There was a person who was in a very weird situation, who she effectively played assistant to the dean, but because the deans switch every 2 years or so, basically she had all the knowledge about the stuff, and the dean was just a figurehead. And somehow I managed to play nice with her because I did lectures, and she organized lectures, and I was one of the few guys who had to be forced to do lecturing. So I had a friend there, and I just kind of dropped hints about what the guy was doing, and suddenly he got orders to stop that.
That's good. Yeah, put him under some pressure.
Yeah. So I didn't have to blackmail anyone, but I had to arrange higher supervision and kind of push my things through. He was basically this weird red guy who believed, as a worker's kid, you don't deserve being here.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah. And
yeah, I was so fortunate with my professors.
There are so many good ones, but it just seems that some fields still are basically a gentleman's club.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very fortunate that almost all of my professors were more like their jobs outside of being a professor was like one of them was like a gamekeeper. They were all kind of like actually working in the field. So they didn't have this kind of pompous superiority complex thing going on.
Yeah, I literally did astronomy in a physics department, so that's kind of to be honest, it's kind of there's no physics industry or anything. Either you stay in science or you do something else afterwards.
Ah, is that astronomy. Can you go into, say, spacecraft?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm way. To be honest, I'm way too big to that. Not just from a fat perspective, but actually too tall. But no, I will be one of the guys who designs like a black box experiment for a satellite, and they carry it up for me
Yeah.
effectively.
'Cause, my dad, he works in the spacecraft engineering.
Mm.
So I was thinking, I don't know the specifics of who gets into that industry, but I thought maybe astronomy could get you there.
From what I understood, it's like this: the guys who actually became astronauts are effectively test pilots first, with a secondary, with like a master's in some kind of science on the side, just so they know enough to handle the experiments on their own.
Yeah, and then they have to be like incredibly kind of healthy, I guess. And, like,
Yeah, and I'm a mess. What's in that regard?
I'm
they
like
totally
a
would.
walking skeleton sometimes.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me, but I do have a few other problems. Like I have pretty bad asthma, so that's an immediate disqualification for any kind of interesting physical job.
Yeah, same for me. I would have been like, I probably would have signed up for like the Air Force or the Navy, but
Yeah.
got completely screwed over. I guess genetic lottery.
Yeah, I was always joking. Like, I'm the only guy in the family who has good eyes. Everyone else said, well, my mother used to have good eyes, but she's getting old. But all of my sisters are terribly. I think they're farsighted.
Right.
I'm not sure, but I could actually, like, if there's if someone holds a book up to his window on the other side of the street, I can read it through the window.
So you got like pilot vision.
Absolutely, but everything else is completely terrible.
So it's like a monkey's paw type
Yeah.
situation.
So
You got the good vision, but
yeah, I've got amazing vision. I try to think that I'm not at least not completely retarded. I've got decent hand-eye coordination, but other than that, I'm terrible. Zero stamina.
I suppose the asthma doesn't help with that.
It totally doesn't. It feels for me like I mean, I don't want to go all nerd and explain it with video games, but my stamina regeneration is zero. Like if I can carry things and do like weightlifting and stuff just as well as everyone else, maybe even slightly better because I'm used to carrying my own weight. My parents just always need me for like carrying furniture and stuff. But as soon as it gets to any kind of actual movement, like just even jogging or anything, I can just it's not like I'm feeling the exhaustion in the muscles. It's just that my throat burns up while I can't breathe hard enough.
I think because there is a type of asthma that I've heard of. I think they call it like exercise-induced asthma.
Exactly that's my thing.
Yeah, that's like one of the worst to have, I think.
Yeah, so it's when I think I posted last year a few times about my new exercise machine, like this weightlifting machine, where I just work against water pressure instead of actual weights. That's one of the few times I actually felt something like sore muscles. Usually, it's
Yeah.
really just a burning throat and the feeling of not getting enough breath.
I was mostly the same with my asthma. Um, and the only thing that really helped me was sparring in like karate and judo. Like that really takes the breath out of you.
Yeah. I want to
But oh sorry.
come down here. Come on. Come down here. You little shit, come down here.
It's, he knows. He knows as soon as he goes down there.
Yeah, but I could hit him with the overhead. It's just that I got shot from the sides. Yeah, so yeah, I do have some slight allergic asthma, like basically just hay fever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exercise induced stuff, that's well, it effectively translates to the same thing. It basically just means exertion asthma.
Yeah. I didn't know whether what I said was like the official
I mean,
name. That's just
I don't know. I just literally translated the German term for it.
Yeah.
You know how we like to just stick words onto each other. Like it's one long word that means exertion, no space, asthma.
I mean, it's very efficient.
It is, but you have these huge clusters. It has its uses. Both ways have their advantages, you know. I mean, we could ask Blueberry about the Finnish tendency for forming weird words.
Oh, that would be fun to hear. Because the only experience I have like seeing Finnish like written or like hearing it is through music, and it already like to me it looks like a more chaotic version of Welsh.
Yeah.
I see a Finnish word and it's so long I wouldn't even know how to begin. Like, and that's kind of what I get with Welsh. It's like some of those words. It's like, how do you say this?
Yeah, the I think the stereotypical Finnish word is like half a page long, has triple vowels in a row, and half of them have dots.
Yeah, like little circles and like.
Exactly. I mean, we do have our little dots too, but that's just because we technically have an 8 vowel system and just 5 letters.
Yeah, and English is like really simple with that. We just use like mostly it's just normal letters.
The orthography is as soon as you learn how it works, it is simple. That admittedly it's not like French or anything. Although French has bizarrely started to make some kind of weird sense in a way to me later, but the thing I was most confused by was that's from the German view. It feels like you're using vowels for diphthongs, like for dual like your pure vowels are like not what we would call pure vowel.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely suck at languages. That is like my weakest area. I technically I should know French, but if you ask me to speak it or read it, I couldn't.
Yeah, I've had French in school. I forgot almost everything. I could probably. Shit! Did you see that? Oh, there's a fog gate right there. Maybe I should just run through this room and try not to get shot in the back.
Might be worth it.
We had the choice between French and Latin, like actual Roman Latin.
Oh yeah. We also had the exact same choice. Well, we had Spanish as well.
If I had the option, I would have picked Spanish. Because it's like French but sensible. Maybe a bit harsh, but still.
I definitely wouldn't try learning them both at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. I would probably just get confused. I mean, my favorite memory of learning French was, it was right in the beginning when we were learning rather basic words, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember what vegetable was in French. But
Oh yeah.
it's legume, by the way, written legumes. But
Which sounds like you're saying something very specific.
yeah, like it's the name of a very weird cucumber thingy or something, right?
Yeah, that's the impression it gives.
but it's basically just the word for veggies. But I couldn't for the
Yeah.
life of me remember it. So I'm in front of the class. I'm supposed to answer, and I'm just standing there. Shit. But English has stolen like half of French words, haven't they? Vegetables? I just wrote vegetables and sprinkled in a few accents.
I'm guessing that didn't go down well.
the teacher laughed her ass off. She was this nice old grandma.
That yeah, just try and flag it with like the most overdone French accent that you can.
Yeah, she laughed her ass off. Said it was a nice attempt, but sorry, wrong. So she had a good sense of humor. I assume she's probably gone by now, since that was 20 years ago and she was just about to retire. Maybe she has like a last few years in it. I'd hope it for, but I'm not gonna start looking up my old teachers.
Yeah, I'm not sure many of my teachers would still be around, but I mean they might be like some kind of immortal vampires. They were some scary people.
Yeah.
We got just before I was graduating, we like maybe a year or so before the end, we got this young French teacher guy from France. So he has no like teaching qualifications, but he's fluent in French, obviously. So
He's French, so he's qualified to teach French.
yeah, that was basically their outlook. So they took this guy on, and he was so much better than like the teachers that we already had, who I'm convinced couldn't actually speak French. We're just teaching us from a textbook.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that basically the entire Japanese stereotype of when you're a foreigner in Japan, you just work as an English teacher?
Yeah, I think because I know a lot of people try to go over there to teach English and whatnot without even knowing Japanese.
Yeah,
I've seen the
Yeah.
loose melted.
yeah. I know I probably wouldn't want to do that. I was already considering, well, maybe I could just switch to trying to teach in schools, but I would probably get annoyed at all the extra teacher, the whole being a teacher outside of just your field duties, like having to
Yeah.
organize class trips and the weird social nonsense and blah, dealing with parents and you. Like, I did get to do some teaching in university, and that was very enjoyable. I would have done that if it
yeah.
was a job.
Was it like, were you teaching like schools, or was it university students?
Oh, it was at university. So basically, the older students, like the PhD students, run the exercises that accompany the lectures for new students. So it's like the doctorates. It's like the grad students doing the exercises for the lower students.
Because I at uni I got to teach some some actual school groups, and it was horrible.
Yeah, I as a side gig, we had a planetarium where one of our professors is probably still is the director. So she had a that was not the professor who I did my thesis with, but she basically got assigned other the students from other professors as her teaching aides. So she had like 2 or 3 half popular science courses for students. So the one where I helped was basically one was called Life in Space, and one was astronomy for non-physicists. So it's basically like she gave the elective lectures for non-physicists, and then you had like literature students and biologists and all that kind of stuff, and that was how she kept her professorship. So she was basically doing half and half. Like it's a borderline popular science, but still professional enough that it belongs in uni. And she had the planetarium.
Yeah.
And everyone who worked for her got as a side gig, if they wanted, she offered. School groups would, of course, often book trips to the planetarium, like you would buy tickets to the movies or something. And on top of these things, like if you just buy a ticket and go with your kid, well, that's just it. But if you order like a whole bunch of tickets for your class and go as a class with your teacher, they'd offer to for a rather low price, like maybe $100 or so, and they'd offer to bring in a student for another hour, and you could just ask questions, and we got like half of it.
Yeah, that sounds quite interesting.
It was, but it was terribly exhausting.
Oh yeah, I hated having to because it's all people you don't know.
That
and having that much pressure.
Yeah, I was always nervous. I always had a bit of stage fright doing that. Then it kind of that was about the amount of social things I could handle for the day. Like I would basically be reduced to just saying yes or no for the rest of the day after one of these.
Yeah.
and they did ask insane questions.
Oh yeah.
Kids say the darndest things. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, you aren't wrong there.
Yeah. So and usually it was out of genuine interest. So some kids had these weird, almost sci-fi-ish view of things and just asked me about like aliens and stuff. Some kids were just hardcore into their thing and would actually ask about technicalities of spaceship, rocket nozzles and that sort of thing. And some were basically like Blueberry.
Just like the least expected.
They would really ask things that are totally out there, like how did the Babylonians get it in there? Really? How did the Babylonians get it in their head to invent astrology or something?
So how do you even answer?
Well,
Give an equally random response.
Kind of, yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm incredibly well read. More like I've spent way too much time of my life clicking random on Wikipedia.
Ah,
So I have like this cursory information about a lot of things, so I could basically, well, I think it's still higher quality than saying I bullshitted my way through it, but I could basically say things like, well, back then the people who did this were at the same time also priests, so they believed in like superstitious stuff and things, and well, they thought these things up there had power, and they tried to interpret them, and I could kind of manage my way through that. Although I'd much rather answer the actual physics questions.
yeah. I mean that sounds like an effective way around it.
Yeah.
Because you're not lying, but you're also you're not like saying something.
Yeah, like an actual historian might have taken offense at what I said, but oh right, he explodes. I forgot about that. But I think it was decent enough.
Yeah.
And in a way, it was the most exhausting groups were actually not just the ones where they asked weird questions. Like at least you had a flow and it kept going. But some teachers really just brought their class in there out of obligation, and they did not ask questions and just like started jumping on the chairs and everything, and I just had to complain about them and ask them to be quiet. And then I just kind of give out the microphone, and they just fart. I literally had someone actually fart into the microphone or burp, just because they thought it was good. They had no questions.
Yeah, that's the worst. That was almost the groups that I had weren't as bad as that, but you could tell
Yeah.
they had no desire to be there.
Yeah. It happened only occasionally, because I guess like astronomy and space stuff is still interesting enough to be cool for kids. Like at least I wasn't in like a art museum or something.
Oh, that would be an experience.
Yeah, imagine doing that.
You'd probably actually want the banana taped to the wall at that point. That might be kind of funny.
I guess.
You might be able to spin that as being interesting in some way.
Oh, that I'm not sure if I could live with myself if I had to bullshit that much. To be
At the
honest,
very least, it would be an easy job, so you could just say what you want.
I guess. I guess so.
This is Donkey Kong.
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess you have a point. But
You
yeah,
might have an easy time with that.
but yeah, teaching actual students was the easiest. Of course, there you also had the guys who were just there to get a D or a C and get credit, and we just had this understanding that I'd leave them alone if they do the bare minimum, and that's
Yeah.
something that doesn't work with kids.
No, they're always a bit more challenging.
Yeah.
On my first class I taught, I completely froze up at the beginning in front of everyone.
Oh.
We're in this like little so my campus is like very rural and like out kind of like in the woods amongst like a bunch of farms and stuff. So we're just out in this like almost like this greenhouse like tent type thing.
Ah.
And so my professor's there in the corner, like writing up like notes on what I'm doing because I'm being graded.
Oh.
The class's teacher is like sat next to him watching as well. And
Oh.
I'm just like in front of all these people and like I cannot get a word out. Like I'm just like stuttering and like stammering and
Oh,
That was-
that's a shame. I can really see it. I mean, this might be a weird impression, but you know what image I just had in my head?
Oh,
Remember during one of the Harry Potter books when they made Hagrid teach the plants class, and he's just like awkward and doesn't know what to do.
yeah.
That's kind of I literally have that image in my head. Like you're telling me about this greenhouse building and everything.
It is a little bit like that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the mental image it just gave me.
And I guess because I've actually been to a lot of the sets of Harry Potter, and I don't think it was too far away, so it has that kind of climate for it. If that
Yeah.
or like a low budget version of that, a less fancy.
It's literally less magical.
Yeah, and sometimes you have like a peacock hanging around. There's someone around there owns peacocks, and they just roamed. So you just have these peacocks walking about everywhere.
That's cute.
They're funny. I never had the bravery to go and try and like pet one.
Oh yeah. I mean, who knows what they might do to you? Like, if geese are already nasty, maybe they can like peck an eye out or something if they're pissed.
Yeah, you might take my finger or something.
Exactly. You still need those.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would be quite inconvenient.
Oof. Oh, I forgot he explodes. Dang it.
Oh man, that was close.
I keep forgetting about that. I was so close.
You'll likely get them soon though with
Yeah.
that.
It's much more close than Fume Knight.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem as hard, thankfully.
Yeah, my university was very different in atmosphere. I mean, we had greenhouses. We did have like a botanical, like this little. They called it the botanical garden, but it was more like a city park. But but they actually had a few greenhouses that were basically tropical inside, and you had like weird insects and really weird plants in there.
That's good. Yeah, I like those types of things.
Yeah, I liked occasionally going in there for weird walks. Just when I felt I needed to disappear for a little while.
Yeah. I guess it sounds more like a horticulture type.
I guess. I mean, I don't know the first thing about plants. I just basically, I managed to take care of my potted plants. My mom pushes on me. They just barely survive, and that's all there is to it.
I was also sound here.
Oof.
Oh, so we're both too polite.
Yeah, I also the boss was kind of taking half my attention.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, so I don't know the first thing about plants. My mom gave me a few succulents. Did you see the story about the suck bottle?
I don't think I have.
I
may just be misremembering it.
So basically, last time I visited my parents, like a few times ago, like November, maybe October. So basically, we're packing, and I have my little. I'm just like packing the last few things. Yeah. So I have my little Yuri. I put her in my bag, and Mom sees it, and she says, "Oh yeah!" And she hands me a bottle with and it has 4 letters on it. Suck. Like SUCC, and it has slightly brownish water in it. And I just what? And she says, hey, "You might need it." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. She just pre-mixed fertilizer for succulents.
It's just a very unfortunate spelling of them.
Yeah. As I said, they're not in the generation who all had to learn English, so she just abbreviated succulents.
A fun coincidence.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm literally putting in my wife when she hands me the suck bottle. I'm like, you might need this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What the fuck?
Maybe they know more than they're letting you on.
Oh god, I hope not. I hope not. Anyway, it's literally just I can't imagine she would have understood that joke. That's not my mom's kind of humor. But I'm sitting there with this brackish water in the suck bottle, and like, what do you mean? Yeah, pre-mixed fertilizer for the succulents she gave me, because I put it in next to the plants.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave me like a few succulents just because you don't really have to take that much care of them. So just so I have some plants in my house, and for a birthday they bought me like 3 nice like outdoor vases, and I can have like this little they gave it to me as a piece of home, like they gave me one of the trees that constituted the part of the hedge in their house.
Okay.
And for example, they gave me like what do you call it in English when you like take a little branch from a plant and make a new plant out of it?
Oh man, I should.
Oh, hello. We have a few text visitors. I just noticed out of the corner of my eye. Hello.
Yes, it's Other Green.
Yeah, there he is.
I just said hey in the chat as well.
Oh, I get it. He's not avant-garde, he's just average guard. I get it.
I think he forgot to swap his account back again.
Maybe.
Because he did this once before he accidentally was in the wrong account.
I still think it's funny. But yeah, basically, they gave me like a little part of my my grandpa's favorite bush.
Yes. That's quite a thought.
Yeah. So that's actually very thoughtful, but I can just barely take care of that. Not that I wouldn't. I have no real sense for these sort of things. I could try learning it, and I would probably get it around occasionally. It's just
yeah. Plants are very finicky.
yeah, and I'm bad at reading their moods.
Yeah, to be honest, for someone who is supposed to be unqualified, like botany was like one of the qualifications I got, I suppose. Plants weren't really ever what I intended to learn about.
Yeah.
So I only actually did fairly well in most topics because of how good my professor was. So we had like he was in his 70s, and he's like he's one of like the country's kind of top experts with brambles. Like these thorny, thorny kind of.
That's.
I don't know how many you'd get with that.
Isn't like the one of the berries that looks like That's one thing I'm bad at in languages. I can't learn the names of like foods and stuff, but not strawberries, but the other pink ones.
Oh, like the blackberries.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are blackberries and things, and like the ones where you have like a lot of little berries. They come in pink and they come in dark purple, and the dark purple ones grow on brambles.
Yeah, it's yes, it's those. He
Black
was,
no, not
special.
black currants. I'm not sure, but it's like one of the default types of jam over here. I'll just look it up after the next fight.
I remember. I think the scientific name is Rudess, if I'm recalling correctly.
Might be. I wouldn't know. Sorry. But yeah, that's I know of brambles just because of these things, and I've played Outer Wilds, and there's this bramble planet. If you've ever seen that.
I think I remember that. I watched someone else play that game quite like a few years ago.
It's a very cool game, but you can really only play it once.
I think I accidentally ruined it by watching someone else play.
Yeah. Let's just check. Yeah, it's just blackberries. It's just
yes.
blackberries. Yeah, but they basically grow on a type of brambly thing, right?
Yeah. So they're kind of like thorny kind of they grow kind of almost like bushes, I guess, like in kind of bunches on the ground.
Yeah, and they're kind of a little pokey. And the other ones are obviously just raspberries.
Yeah.
I should have known, of course, but yeah, those
raspberries. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say raspberries are kind of. I guess they're all related. I think.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, they look almost the same.
Usually, that's like a good indicator. Although there's some species that are a pain in the ass.
Sure. I mean, I keep postponing taking. I keep postponing registering for the fishing license exam because I never had the part of the exam is that you are being shown basically just images of fish and you have to say what kind of fish it is, and
right.
And we have quite a few weird ones. Like you can there's easy ones like eels and morays and stuff, and what's the big guy that's a catfish.
Oh yeah,
that's the easy ones. But then you have like the dozens of varieties of carp and carp-ish fish. And they're basically
that sounds
all the
like
same.
a nightmare.
And they're all the same. I try studying it and I just keep thinking of the meme with the fish diagram. Like, fish. Yes, that's a fish.
Is it safe to eat or not? That's all you need to know.
The best thing is our system of owning rivers and seas for fishing. In the open seas, it's like whatever. It's open season. At least I think it is. But the rivers and seas are usually like stewarded by local fishing clubs.
Yeah.
They have to do things like determine catch ratios and which size of fish are you allowed to take in or out, and what kind of, and they just printed information on the fishing tickets. Like you have a license and you have your license and you have to actually buy tickets for for going fishing on certain days. Unless you're part of the club, then you basically buy like permanent cards.
Ah, right. But I guess you have to like pass that test to be able to.
Yeah, you can't buy a ticket unless you have a license, and if you get caught fishing without either, you're in trouble.
Ah.
And
I think they probably do the same thing over here, to be honest.
And if they sell you tickets and they write on the backside which fish you are allowed to catch, put a picture on.
Oh, I really hope they don't make you have to learn the scientific names as well.
No, not really. That shit up there.
Always that big axe and arrow combo.
Yeah, so they make us learn the names of fish, and like half the fish look all the damn same. Like I can barely like recognize my dad's anti-favorite. It's the what was it called? It was called now I keep mixing up the English and German names for the fish. Well, he calls it a toilet lid.
Okay. Is that is it a flatfish?
Not quite. It's just one of the carp likes who has like a very very high neck and very low stomach. So he's almost as tall as he is long. So it's not like a flounder where it like switches to living on the side. It's just like like a carp, but really almost squarish.
Ah, I don't know that I've seen one of those.
Yeah.
But I usually stayed away from marine biology.
Yeah. So the German word for it is Brasse. Oh, it's a bream, I think.
Oh yes, I've heard of that name.
I think it's a bream. If I'm not mixing them up. I'll check real quick, considering I'm dead anyway.
Okay.
So it is Abramis brahma, which is the common bream. Yes. Yeah, it's the venerable toilet lid, because it basically has the shape of a toilet lid if you take the tail for the hinge, and it basically tastes like one too.
Oh, they're not very good then.
they're kind of boring and a little fatty, and they have lots of little tiny teeny fish bones that are just barely big enough to get stuck in your throat, but just barely. So it's effectively not really worth doing anything with that fish. But
yeah,
since we have laws about not our anti-animal cruelty law basically says you cannot harm or hurt any animals without a purpose. Fishing is a purpose. You're feeding yourself. But catching and releasing is just fun. That's not a good enough purpose. So if you catch a fish and you are allowed to take it, you're also obligated to take it.
Okay. To be honest, I don't know what the rules are like here, but I imagine they're probably similar.
I'm not sure how your laws are exactly, but the common impression is that no one's as anal about it as we are. At least considering fishing. I understand with actual hunting, other countries are about as strict as we are, mostly because it involves firearms and animals that become actually deadly to humans. Like if you're hunting bears and you have to keep the quotas just to keep people safe and stuff.
Yeah.
But fish?
Fish is a weird.
Yeah.
I suppose it's probably some environmental.
Oh yeah, that's basically the Greens doing. Well, the weird laws, the actual amount of laws, like the amount of bureaucracy, that's a German thing. That's but you used to be able to when you catch fish, you have like this little net you can put in the water and keep them there alive until you are actually done and take them home.
Yeah.
The Greens forbid that. Putting a fish in captivity is unnecessary cruelty. You have to buy an electric cooler. You have to kill the fish immediately, and you have to put it in your cooler.
Ah.
But you're not
They have
allowed to
someone
open
watching
it up.
over your shoulder.
That's actually one of the things the inspectors are required to check you for, else they get in trouble. But
Okay.
you're also not allowed to like open up the fish and dump out the organs, because that is like like throwing waste into the environment. So you have.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, it sounds to me like they actually on top of
The last thing didn't get through. The demon was too loud. Sorry.
it. Ah, that's okay. I was gonna say, it sounds like they actually on top of it.
Yeah. So it kind of feels like they want to make it as hard as possible because they actually hate fishing.
The worst part over here with like our laws is whether or not you're actually gonna. You never know when they're actually keeping an eye on stuff. So, for example, one time when I was driving home from work, I was like, because like super dark outside, I flashed the police car by accident with my headlights. Because I was really annoyed at the bad driving, so I like flashed my headlights at him a few times to like tell him and then I realized it was a police car.
Oh shit!
Like, oh no! I thought I was gonna get pulled over, but he just didn't do anything.
Well, I got away lucky that time, but yeah, if you do something, you could have gotten in trouble over here too. That's effectively the same.
And with our like other kinds of like weird, absurd laws we have over here, it's like sometimes some days you can go out and you won't see a police car or policeman or anything like that. So you have to wonder, like, would they even like? Is anyone even gonna check?
and then the one time you do it, there's like 3 police cars inside.
Yeah. And it's like, are they gonna actually talk to me? Because I mean, we had our store got broken into while we were working there, and so our manager was pleased, and the police asked them word for word, like, oh well, how many of them are there, and how many of you are there? and when there's more of us, police people were like, oh well, you can handle it.
Okay. Wow.
It was so our laws are like really absurd and like over strict, but at the same time they're really inconsistent with how they actually enforce them. I imagine over in Germany, like the impression I get, because I've spoken to a few friends, kind of acquaintances, like other artists,
like internet friends.
Yeah, and I get the impression it's more of a consistent country, at least a little bit.
It feels like it's a little bit more regulated. Like there's less weird nonsense rules. Most of the rules do have more or less sensible origins, at least, even if they're sometimes dumb.
Yeah.
But it's at least very consistent on that front.
Yeah, better consistency than kind of never knowing what's...
Yeah. That is true. Oh, oops.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you much about fish, but if anyone ever needs to learn about butterflies or moths, I'm fairly good.
I know one guy who might be interested, but maybe he's just interested in the symbolic meaning of butterflies.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know.
I mean,
I almost
maybe.
did my dissertation on like moths and butterflies.
I gotta say, maybe this is a knee-jerk reaction, but I vastly prefer moths.
Yeah, it's funnily enough, they're actually considered the same. So they're both under the same class, Lepidoptera. Well, the same like grouping, Lepidoptera.
Oh, okay.
So they're actually like on a technical level, we consider them. There's not much of like an official distinction. It's more of like I guess like a subjective kind of distinction.
Oh, so they're not really that different on a biological level. Just the ones that turn out like this are called moths, and the other ones are called butterflies.
Yeah, and there's some moths that are almost butterfly-like, and like vice versa.
Mm.
So you know how a lot of moths, like the wings are kind of downward facing.
Yeah, that's kind of the rule I learned. Like at rest, butterflies have their wings standing up, and moths have them on the side like a plane.
What if I told you that I know of one moth species that is like the opposite? It's like a butterfly.
I'd probably just say, bugs are weird anyway.
Yeah. You wouldn't be wrong there.
Yeah, but I mean, bugs are really weird.
They're one of the species that I probably wouldn't recommend trying to learn about like in detail unless you had like bug autism or something like that.
I mean, I do like moths more just because they don't have this weird trunk face, and they're more fluffy usually.
Yeah, they oftentimes they're like cuter of the kind.
Exactly, like as a kid you think butterflies are more pretty, and just since I started looking at them, I thought no, actually moths are cuter.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. There are some moths that look amazing, like the elephant moth. Have you seen? Do you get those in Germany? They're like big, pink and green moth.
Pink and green. I don't think I've seen something like that in person ever. I mean, personally, we just get these brownish standard moths.
Yeah. They're like probably the most common kind of moths are like that kind of like beige to brown kind of color.
Exactly, just the default moth.
Yeah, pretty much.
I panic rolled. Buxies. The fuck?
Oh yeah.
Slug that
I've
uses
heard that.
photosynthesis. Okay.
It's there's a number of things with how we understand taxonomy that technically speaking, it's like the way that we classify species is more or less in part like a placeholder, as in like humans just kind of like to put things in boxes.
Yeah, that's true.
But all the time there's stuff that like kind of like the platypus and like all these other like oddball species.
Yeah,
Just don't
sometimes
know what
just
to do with.
weird stuff exists that doesn't really fit. Yeah.
Usually, on like the tiny level, so like you're talking like single cell organisms, and and they managed to get
Yeah,
Um,
I just got shot while doing the fog thing.
yeah. When it comes to like tiny organisms, like say bacteria,
Mm.
I don't know if how many people know about, because you know the kingdoms. There's animals, plants, fungi, bacteria.
I remember when they just didn't really teach us about fungi yet, and then like, oh, basically mushrooms are just weird.
Yeah. What they often, I don't think they teach this often, but there's 6 kingdoms so far. So we have well, 6 or 7. There's Protoctista, there's Archaea, Bacteria, Plantae, Animalia, and Fungi.
Mm. I mean, I think I heard something about amoeba in there.
Yes, so if I'm remembering correctly, those would be Protoctista,
Oh,
which
I thought it was the other one, the Aka whatever.
it could be Archaea. To be honest, I didn't remember a lot of this, like the details with those.
The only reason I remember those is because they keep occasionally appearing on spaceships, even if they have been to space.
Ah, yeah.
So I had to learn
Yeah,
about
like
those. Hi, Blueberry. Yeah, so I had to learn a few weird things. Like again, for that life in space course, I had to learn about like the weird bacteria that live on the black smokers in the deep sea, and I think some kind of bacteria are able to withstand huge amounts of X-ray radiation and can survive space for ages, and some make spores that can survive, and basically we would have to be really careful if we ever send out like say if we send out lander to one of the Jupiter moons, the one that has these underwater seas. Was it Titan or was it Europa? I don't know. It's been too long, but we actually would have to be very careful not to actually accidentally infect it with our own stuff. Like imagine we have this headline, "Life on a moon found," and actually we just gave it a cold.
Yeah, that would be funny if we just like we put it there.
And what if that thing becomes like an outside threat? Like I mean, it's happened often enough for us on Earth with the continents, like the carrying the plague to America or something. Imagine that thing just kills the ecosphere over there. Oops.
That's true.
Oops, we found aliens and we gave them the cold and they died.
That would be somewhat anticlimactic. Be like the War of the Worlds, where the aliens just die because of was it allergic to water or something like that?
Something? Wasn't that one of the Shamalama Ding Dong movies?
Yeah, it was one of those crappy.
Was it Arrival? Maybe?
Yeah. Is that Signs? Oh.
Oh, maybe, yeah, it might be Science. It might be. I just saw it on TV once and I thought, really? That's water. Really?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It seems my degree has already been partially validated. Apparently, Protoctista is no longer used.
Interesting.
To be honest, that happens all the time in
Yeah.
biology.
Yeah. So my knowledge is basically third hand and even more outdated because it was really just handed down to through physicists just so we can barely teach that course.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard recently that fish taxonomy got completely upheaved. So, like, the relations between the species is like completely different now. So I don't know if that would come up in your fishing license, but
Probably not, to be honest.
yeah, you probably don't have to bother with any of that nonsense.
No, they just care about if the fish are predators or like if they eat plankton or if they eat like little insects. Most of it is really just about knowing their organs. So you do have to kill the fish immediately. So basically, you have to. The old way was basically to slit their throat, and the modern way is to. You know, just so it doesn't get too bad, I'll just summon a horde of NPCs and see how it goes, just for fun. You are supposed to know where their heart is, and their heart is vaguely in their throat. So you can basically just stab them in the heart and kill them immediately. And the other half is if you open them up, you have to know what to throw out. And so you have to learn that some kind of fish have like one or two the floating bladder thingies, and some don't even have a stomach. They just transition immediately from mouth to intestine. So you don't keep looking for like a stomach or anything.
Do you have to check for parasite?
Ah, shit, that was a waste of a humanity. I'll do it again. You do have to check for parasites, and you're supposed to report if you catch diseased fish.
Yeah.
There are a few ones. There's let me remember. I'm not really quite on top of it all right now because I kind of put it to the side for a while. But there's this illness where they get this bloaty stomach.
Oh yeah.
There's a handful of parasites, and for example, there's a specific kind of parasite where they get like these little lacerations on the inside of their gills, I think.
Yeah.
So there are like a few types of common fish illnesses you are supposed to recognize, and if possible conserve the fish and hand it in to the local
I guess the authority, is it? Like fishing authority.
Exactly, like the people who check the water for oh, come on! Now that I keep summoning these guys, I die before I get there. That's amazing.
It's that ridiculous axe.
Yeah, I wonder if I should have just tried to overpower this guy and get him to despawn. Oh, I'm getting a message. Oh no, that mom and dad are just trying a new coffee. I keep waiting for the message about about movie night.
Oh yeah.
I got that to watch a Gundam show with me.
Oh, I think, did you mention this? Was that the new
Yeah, it's that Netflix show. It's just 6 episodes or so. It's 2 hours in total, maybe. It's CG. It's like it's okay. It's decent. It's not great, but it got a. God dang it! It got a German dub, so.
That's quite handy.
Dad hates subtitles. Admittedly, I don't really enjoy them, but it's okay.
I have trouble reading them and enjoy it. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Connie.
There you are. Hello. Yeah, so Dad doesn't like subtitles, and I mean, we kind of have it good. Our local voice actor scene is pretty strong. It's not like, for example, the Dutch, where I think the modus operandi for the Dutch is you get English with subtitles or English without subtitles.
So, what for us over here? Oh, sorry.
So,
Many things to say about the Dutch.
hello. Oh, you. I think you turned your voice changer off, or you changed it.
Oh, it's other green.
Oh, it's Other Green. Hello. For a second, I believed it was Blueberry.
It could be me too. But
There you are.
Oh, you sound like the most twinkish being I've ever seen, Purple.
Oh,
Sorry,
thanks.
Butterfly. I had to say it. I have many things to say about the Dutch and how retarded they are.
What have I done? The funny thing is, a few years ago, I just picked up a I wouldn't exactly say a friend, more like a kid who saw me on the Team Fortress server and kind of latched onto me, and he was like a Dutch Belgian, like
A Flemish.
a Flemish, exactly. I think your guys are called Walloons and the other guys are Flemish, and he was raving about the French Belgians.
Don't worry, yeah, don't worry, it's mutual.
And I just sit there, dude.
Don't worry, it's mutual. We don't like the Flemish very much. They don't like us very much.
I'm just sitting there listening to him rave about these
Nobody
damn
likes the
Frenchmen.
Nobody likes the Flemish. Even the Netherlands don't like the Flemish.
I mean, that's why they kicked them out to Belgium.
It's just the Flemish are rude. What did I say? But France actually does like the Walloon quite well. But the Dutch don't like the Flemish.
I'll turn you up a little bit because the game's too loud. Oh, what have I done? What have I started here?
You're talking about Dutch to a Belgian. There's obviously going to be something to be said.
I mean,
Right. So Dutch.
We are not allowed to hate people. That's gone out of fashion since like a
As
few.
someone that speaks French, it is my holy duty to hate on the English too.
Please don't restart the 100 Years War in here.
What? Do you think it ended?
Oh, shit. What have I done?
Any sound English. I don't. I'm technically.
No, you have quite a strong accent.
Ah, right. See, I can't detect it because I only being here, it's like my accent's feels weaker than a lot of people I live around.
I did hear it. I immediately thought, oh, it's not one of those main posh accents from like London or something. I don't know. I barely know anything about the UK. But definitely not one of those very haughty accents where you speak always with those kinds of intonations. I don't know.
You're about halfway to Ball I mean, I shouldn't be saying things about accents.
Yours is okay. It does feel Germanic for sure, but Mine probably is stinking French.
I've had worse. My second supervisor once told me a story about a Frenchman at a conference, and he held this.
Yes, hello, this is the conversation.
No shit. He talked about a constellation of stars or something, and he said, and he said, what?
Ah yes, so every Frenchman speaks English.
Yeah. 32 Dorados. Oof.
It's just because.
Dang it.
There's a lot of difference.
I'm doing better without the bots. They're not contributing enough.
Oh yeah, you're casually dying once I shit on the Dutch again.
Okay, now it feels like fortune.
Okay, to tell you a story, Walloons are forced to learn Dutch since when they're like 10 up until they're like 80. So it's 8 years of Dutch.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that speaks Dutch. That didn't speak Dutch natively. I mean,
but do they make the other guys learn French that much?
yeah, and they actually speak French okay on average. But you know that you know why? Because media in French actually fucking exists.
That is true. As I said, as far as I know, the only options for Dutch cinema is English with subtitles or English without subtitles.
Yeah.
Or watch it in German, I guess.
The only sources of Dutch you'll ever find are fucking clickbait videos on YouTube, which I never watch. Clearly made to one-shot kids. The news, which I'll never watch because it's the news on TV.
And they're all lying anyways.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Or like maybe if you're lucky, you go to Brussels and you speak to someone in Dutch, but their first reflex every time they hear even slightly French accent is to speak to you in French or English.
I wanted to say something about that, but it seems you are having a lot of trauma about this.
I'm supposed to learn Dutch because every single job requires it. Funnily enough, there's a reason why those positions are empty most of the time.
Because no one wants to speak Dutch.
Indeed, and the Dutch don't want to, and the Flemish don't want to go in Wallonia, so even them who speak it natively don't want to go into those positions.
Oh wow.
But anyway, all of this to say, they just threw their language out of the woods. They just threw it out. It barely even exists anymore. It's like Swedish. It's nowhere.
A funny thing I remember is we had first. I don't know. Oh shit! I was still alive. Fuck. I already thought. Oh yeah, my health bar. We had, when I was young, we had a certain influx of Dutch TV guys. So like The Price is Right, the German version, and I think Family Feud. The same guy, Harry Weinfurt. He's like the most jolly, slightly fat Dutch guy you'll ever see. And a few kid shows, and like a comedian or two. Like we had a bunch of Dutch TV guys, and they have the most enjoyable accent, and it's they speak this oddly soft and creamy German. Like a gauge.
That's basically what Dutch is.
When I hear them speak their own language, it's all like
that's the one thing that every French kid has to learn to absolutely rip your throat out of your
I mean
just compress press it, torture it until it responds into static.
I mean, at least in German we have the same type of sound. We have this not as harsh.
In French, there's nothing close.
I mean, you don't even have the H.
No, we don't pronounce our H.
Yeah.
At least H is easy enough to say. You just.
It's basically just pronounced breathing.
Yeah, that's easy enough to understand. No, the two worst sounds that I've had to learn is that, well, glottal H or G or CH that Dutch has.
Yeah, the painter is like technically not Van Gogh. It's like something Van Gogh or something.
Gogh.
But it's not that's still not hard enough.
No, a true Dutchman would.
Yeah, something like it's like Klingon.
And the English TH.
Admittedly,
Nightmare to learn for Frenchmen.
For me too. Or for us too. Like you know the war movie accent. We are asking the questions here.
Oh, in French too. If you hear a Frenchman try to speak English, he'll say, "Hello, this is me."
Yeah.
This is good.
But admittedly, at least the English speakers of the world are nice enough to understand it.
Yeah, but well, they have to. It's basically the lingua franca of the world. So
Yeah,
choice to have weird accents.
I mean, you're probably like Daniel. You're probably oh shit. Not
What HP?
you probably can objectively how bad is my TH? Is it that terrible?
First teeth.
Oh, but the accent?
Yeah, is it really that bad?
No, to be honest, most, like, mainland, like, I'd say most kind of German accents that I've heard are far easier to understand than even some, like, local English accents, to be honest.
We're talking about the UK.
at least we are trying to get somewhere close to the posh thing, and we just don't have all the sounds in our mouth.
At least you try to pronounce things instead of just muttering in your non-existent beard.
Like from what I like, from most of the people who I know, the German accents tend to be quite popular over here, at least.
Incredible.
From people I know, but say you talk about maybe like a Cornish person or like a Welsh person, or like someone from like Glasgow, Scotland, or something like that. It's like you can't understand.
I've heard someone speaking with an Irish accent or a Glasgow accent. It's always very funny. It's an exercise in deciphering.
I can really kind of relate to the Irish accent. There's like one YouTube guy who I think he's involved with like music stuff and something like some kind of famous composing software, and he has this weird Irish accent where he mostly speaks completely normal, but he just doesn't do the H's. He just says everything and things.
I see.
Oh, so like an over pronunciation of like T's.
Yeah, he just can't do the H's. She just replaces them with regular T's.
See, we have like we have kind of like an in-joke amongst like me and my friends here with that, because if you overpronounce the T, you almost sound like Indian.
Oh!
They say like
This is the worst insult you can
Everything fine, sir. Everything fine, sir.
Hold on, calm your insults there. I wouldn't want to be called that.
Also, we would have played a betting game, but we would have all bet on the same thing. It's hilarious hearing you go off on everything in the world. We kind of assumed you were like this barely contained ball of rage.
Definitely got a lot of inner fire.
Never change, please.
Oh, it depends on the day. Here I did absolutely nothing because I was very lazy, and tomorrow I'm gonna go to a friend's house for 10 hours. I'm gonna die.
Oh boy.
I like those guys, but for 10 hours it's too much. But anyway, what was I say? Yeah, the worst sound you could have is the worst part about learning English is that they don't even try to relate it to the language you really have, you know, or they say, hey, it's kind of close, use this sound. Doesn't work. For example, th, they just say vaguely something, you know, like teeth or something. They don't even explain to you that there's two sounds associated to th.
It explains so much when I heard that on some internet YouTube video. Like,
Yeah, I just
damn.
read somewhere from an Anglicist, you know, who
Yeah.
incredibly patriotic.
There's
you know, the th in that and the th in teeth. It's different. What is voiced and what is unvoiced.
there is this
He was
there's this old linguist doctor guy. I think Jeff something or Jeff something, like the G Jeff, not the J Jeff. You know, and he has like very good videos about explaining like the origins and how to fake different accents and where they come from and stuff like that. And he explained this very well. That was the first time I understood this. I just always thought, is it inconsistent? Am I doing it?
English is just inconsistent.
I mean, it is, but it like still has its rules. It's just no one is really good explaining.
Those rules are incredibly complex, don't probably make sense, and you know, English as a language has been verbally raped like 5 times in its existence by 5 different languages.
I mean, so has the English populace anyway, because Vikings, Normans, everyone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even the Britons, the original Britons, don't truly exist anymore.
Right, that was on us basically, like old Saxons.
Yeah, I
just
think
exactly,
most English people could probably trace their lineage back to France or Germany,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. The Angles and the Saxons were pretty defined tribes, but
I mean, they're technically still around here somewhere.
I mean, yeah.
So
Yeah,
you,
most English nowadays are mostly Anglo-Saxon.
I mean, there's some kind of Norman in there, right? Like the
Even the Normans didn't really reproduce much with the Angles and
They
the
didn't?
Saxons.
oh right, they just came as conquerors, right? And just like
They came as conquerors, and mostly their language was adopted because they became the new nobility, and thus people wanted to speak like the nobility.
I think you can still in English like trace back that many fancy words are related to French and many low class words.
Basically 30% of all the vocabulary of English is French.
The
And
the example I always learned for that is about cows. So like to a farmer it's a cow, and that comes from German, at least is related to the German word Kuh, which is a cow. But beef, like when you get to eat the cow, then it's related to birth. Suddenly.
yeah, because it's the aristocrats that ate the meat.
Exactly, the farmer just made the cows.
This is why, for example, you have the English room, or the French, more sophisticated for the aristocracy, chamber.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
I
a
mean,
lot
we
of
still-
it. There's a lot of used words in English that even in your conversation I counted like 3. Example, attention, and another one. If it ends with shun, it's probably French.
I had a weird run-in with the local Cologne accent. Like we have this weird kind of local patriotism where after Le Bête Moustache Man disappeared, people just kind of became more interested in like local customs and like Bavarians and Swabians and everything like that. And
The Bavarians have the funniest stereotypes of all populations.
I just got stuck in the combo. But Cologne has this well, basically beforehand it was seen as this lower class, like peasant speak, and nowadays it's more like a cultural phenomenon, and the local people act, some of them really enjoy and live it and everything, and but the thing is, I had to move here for my job, and before I found an apartment, I rented out a hotel room. So basically, it was like this. We were in full coof season. That was like mid of 2020, and my boss said, "Well, I insist on a 6-week trading period. You're just allowed to come in every other week because of the coof rules. So please come in for 6 weeks, and then you're on remote." Fine. So I booked. I booked a hotel room for 6 alternating weeks, and that means the last week kind of went over into October, so it started getting slightly cold. And then the girl at the reception tried to be very nice and offered me a Plimo. That was my reaction too, and she helpfully repeated, "Do you want a Plimo?" The fuck? And the thing is, she thought this was the standard German word for it, and she just repeated it very slowly. She said "Plumeau," and I'm like, neurons activate. I learned about this in French. It sounds like plumeau. Is she offering me an extra bed sheet, like a cover, like an extra blanket? And he said,
I'll tell you, I've never heard a bedsheet referred to.
And then not, I just got the wrong word. I meant blanket. She offered me an extra blanket.
Yeah,
And then,
I understand.
"Do you mean a blanket?" That's what I said, a Plimo. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just not from around here. Thank you, I'll take it. And that's the one Cologne word I know. It's Plimo. It's blanket. And
Interesting that you.
yeah, I think this has to be like, I don't know, Napoleon's fault or something.
Or just the fact that it's quite close to France.
Probably. I just wanted to blame Napoleon.
Fair enough. This is interesting that you said that Cologne is it was considered a low IQ peasant's place, because I always assumed the opposite. Because I mean,
Not the place, just if you speak the local dialect.
I mean, yeah, I thought that they would be the fancy German, because I mean, Eau de Cologne, that's the one. People know Cologne.
No. That is a fancy product, and Cologne is considered kind of, well, it's not like Munich or like Stuttgart or anything where it's like this high-tech city, but it is considered culturally like one of the top places.
But I mean, we go often to the Christmas market there. It's a beautiful place, I thought.
Oh yeah, it sure is. Well, I mean, there are a few smaller ones, of course. Well, nowadays you have to be pretty careful not to get run over by a car or something. It's a sensitive topic. It's like the.
I'm Belgian. We're the worst here. We're basically a caliphate already. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, just for clarification, I mean terrorists, not terrible drivers.
Right.
we are having a bit of a problem with let's just politely say religiously motivated terrorism.
My friend, you're speaking to a Belgian and an English. We're practically caliphates.
I'm just saying we are on YouTube. This isn't home territory.
Who's better than you?
I might have found some stronger words on the thread.
I have to be a little bit careful.
Exactly.
I may share your opinions, but I might not be allowed to have.
We are free to have the good opinions.
I'm kind of double fucked in that sense because I'm born Cyprus, and that's getting not well.
Yeah, someone who might know less might give you shit and stupid little Turkish road jokes. But I assume from what you told, you're basically part of the like the family is part of the peacekeeping troops and everything.
Yeah, so my parents were, like most of my family has always been in some form of military. So both my parents were Air Force. My grandparents were Navy. And my great-grandparents were Royal Marines.
Ooh.
So it kind of just goes on like that, but I was born while they were stationed in the military base in Akrotiri.
Yeah. My immediate family doesn't really have any direct connections. I have this funny story from my grandfather who he got like a Wehrmacht pass from during the war, but he was 16. He never got drafted. He was just registered for possibly getting drafted, and then the war was over. And he just basically told me how to use it to sneak into 18+ movies. and he had a few funny stories from his father how they used to play pranks on the officer in the First World War.
Oh yeah.
His favorite story was apparently my great grandfather got promoted and demoted in the same day. It went like this. So he got promoted for something or else. I think it was something about saving the officer's horse, and so the horse liked him. The horse liked a great grandpa, and on that day, of course, to celebrate, they got drunk, and then the officer was in his bunker. Old Pops had the great idea. Was that damaged? Shit. He was now good friends with the horse, so they went on top of the bunker. He yelled mortar attack and had the horse like stomp its hooves on the bunker. and the officer shit himself in fear.
Oh.
He got demoted for that.
Can't blame him.
He got demoted for that on the same day. Didn't last a day. That was one of his favorite stories to tell.
That's a good one.
and when we put like these, I don't know if you know this. That's the like the stereotypical thing to put on the Christmas tree international is like a big star or an angel, right?
Yeah.
We have this thing where it's like an ornament but like spiky, and Grandpa used to joke, "Oh look, it's the Kaiser," like the spiky helmet. Oh, there's a WhatsApp message. I'm checking. It's movie time. Nice. I just have one more go, and then when I die,
No, you got this.
I was gonna say, sorry, Blue. I think we might have accidentally.
We kind of overpowered you. You didn't get enough speaking time.
I was looking
Oh,
for
well,
the
no, I was having a blast on you.
Yeah. So that's Grandpa's war stories. He snuck into the cinema, looking at the Boo Boo pictures, and Great Grandpa did shenanigans with a horse. I think my grandpa on my other side was like related to some kind of admiral, and they had to change their name when the Soviets came, like to not get caught. And but they didn't do anything. They just didn't want to be associated with him for fear of reprisal.
Yeah.
But that story is rather boring. They just kind of faked their name, just so the Soviets wouldn't notice. That's not a good story. That's just an interesting fact.
And in our family, it's not many of them like to talk about some of that stuff. But I know there's some interesting stories. I don't know how much okay to say online.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff is a bit.
Of course. That might still be slightly sensitive. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of my family managed to, like, the generational timing, I think, was off for, like, you know, the big war or whatever, World War II. It's mostly just, like, other, like, Falklands stuff and,
Yeah.
all this other, like, random crap. My dad did have a funny story of when he was on guard duty one time. I don't know, do you guys know much about the SAS?
I mean, oh, dang it.
But I'm more than the average person, but not that much either.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
So my
Nothing
dad. So they're special forces, like one of the main kind of ones over here.
I just have
And,
another
I mean,
quick go
this
while
is
you tell
back-
that story.
Yeah, this is back when my parents were like in kind of like in the prime of the forces. So this is back when the UK army wasn't quite as much of a joke. So my dad was on guard duty at the guard post on his base with one of his team, and the SAS did a training raid on the base. So apparently he and this guy in this guard tower were like shitting themselves. Like had no idea what to do when these guys just turn up, start firing shots off into the sky.
Holy shit, we're getting invaded! Yeah.
He's probably lucky that that it was just like a friendly training exercise, but apparently that was like one of the scariest.
Like if that had been an actual attack, he would have been screwed.
Yeah.
Well, good thing it wasn't then.
Yeah, none of them were expecting it because I think this was in the UK, so it was like completely out.
Admittedly, if a base in the middle of the homeland would have been attacked like that, that probably would have been a bigger problem. Like,
Yeah.
I can't assume they would have been the only guys who wouldn't have been on full attention, let's say.
I think they just basically managed to march right in. I didn't think it was much of a training exercise for them. Because I remember my mum was she just had like smoke with them when they got in the base.
Ah, shit. Oh well, but Fume is dead, even if I kinda missed out on his second phase. And
Oh, nice.
I'm checking out. That is already waiting with beer in hand. I should still rush over and get one for myself. I'll be probably continue this tomorrow, sometime after lunch. You know, the doodle times are just basically as close I could eyeball it. So I'll just say good night in the thread, and we'll see each other tomorrow if you want, and if you have time.
Yes,
Bye.
I'm playing
Thank
Elden
you.
Ring with people tomorrow, but I try to join if I have time.
Sorry, what was that? What was a little garbled?
I'm playing Elden Ring with other people tomorrow.
Right.
I join if I can.
Well, don't feel forced to don't neglect your friends, right? Just focus. Have fun, right? Bye.
Say hello. Bye.
Bye, thanks.
Good night.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.